moisturizers. And you know that moisturizers are things that, when you say moisturizers, remember that moisture is that you're hydrating something. So moisturizers hydrate the skin. And what a lot of people don't know is that naturally the skin, so what we call the skin has three layers. In some books, you find it as two major layers. The epidermis is that top layer. And if you notice that you won't see it, but constantly our skin is shedding, almost like producing new skin. So the skin is one of those organs that constantly it renews itself. Because if not, we would all be looking all ashy and all with thick skin all over the place. And the skin has natural moisturizing factor. It has some lipids, it has some things in it that hydrate it naturally. And that's why some people will go all out there, I will never cream my body and I still look good. It's not their fault. It's the way nature has made the skin. But with the environment, with the humidity and all that, the skin now faces harsh environmental factors. So because of that, you then need to hydrate your skin from outside. So if you mention those products that you should be looking out for because there'll be a lot of things. It's not just the moisturizer that is inside the cream itself. So those ones might be confusing. So I like the fact that you started with the ones that you should not be using. So first off, let me say anything that contains mercury, heavy compounds, mercury, anything that contains, I don't want to be so, I don't want to say the word hydroquinone and say don't have hydroquinone in your product, because sometimes medically we use hydroquinone to treat some medical, especially hyperpigmentation. So if you did not know, we actually use hydroquinone medically. There's a medically acceptable level of hydroquinone that you can use to treat hyperpigmentation, but it must be done by, the approved people, the dermatologist, some estheticians, but usually the dermatologists. So you should not be using hydroquinone-based compound. If it's being prescribed by a dermatologist, anything over 3 months, you're going to get into trouble because you're going to end up with rebound pigmentation. And that's why when some people start to bleach their skin, because that's a very common thing now, when they start to bleach their skin, especially with hydroquinone containing compounds, they like the fact that they're getting light, because hydroquinone is one of the most potent lightening agents. You will get lighter. But after some time, what they don't know is that hydroquinone causes rebound pigmentation. So if you continue to use hydroquinone the first 3 months, you are looking good. You want to, because for a lot of people, I don't know why they think that being fair is synonymous with being beautiful. So they continue to use it. And after some time, they now start to get darker, a rebound pigmentation from the effects of the hydroquinone itself, because it gets deposited under the skin. It gets deposited as a pigment under the skin. So the most important one that would actually deposit in the organs that will cause a lot of organ damage are the heavy metals, like mercury. I saw a lady, I remember vaguely, I was a medical student, but I'm not certain whether that was what caused it, but we investigated her for almost everything. We could not get any other cause for her renal failure, except for the heavy metals, because she had been bleaching her skin for a long time. I don't know how she ended up, but by the time she came in, she was dialysis dependent. You would not want to be applying something on your body cream that is going into your organs and that can cause renal failure.
Okay, so we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we want to go further into it. If you're wondering if the body cream or the body product you apply can lead to renal failure, I think you already had the answer. So stay with us. You're listening to Soul Food here on Smooth 90.1. Music, love life. World-class music. We have a minute's break, and we come back after that. 98.1.
Sure.
Ma?
Okay, can I speak? This is off air right now, right?
We're on YouTube.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to know, are the callers going to call in? Are people going to call in?
Yeah, when we're done with the basic information we need to put out, because we need to.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you more.
Yes! 35 million Naira ShopRite vouchers up for grabs when you buy participating products from any ShopRite nationwide. Promo valid to the 6th of November 2022. Visit ShopRite Nigeria on Facebook and Instagram for more details. Terms and conditions apply. Listen closely. It's the sound of time. The sound of business. From the North Pole to the South Pole, time constantly changes, and so does business.
Being an entrepreneur, you've got to be open to the world.
For a daily and quick analysis on business headlines, tune in to Business
You're still at
Experts.
UCH, I suppose.
As we track the big stories.
Yes, I am. I'm still at UCH. You found job for me in Lagos. You want me to come back?
You don't want Lagos, Dr. Gold. You don't want it out. You can't even
I
stand.
want to. A lot of people say,
thought.
come back to Lagos. So there's something in Lagos that they want to give me. So maybe I'm ready to come back now.
From 6:30. Smooth. We are for number one.
And you're welcome to join the family. This is Smooth 98.1. My name is Oluwaseun. We are talking about your skin health this morning on Soul Food. It runs from 8 till 8:30. My guest is Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi. She's a consultant physician and dermatologist at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, and she's very passionate about skin health and advocacy. She's an author, by the way, and she does a lot of skin health education on her social media handles. You will get to that later on, but for now, we are talking about what is in your beauty product. And we said some of the things you should be on the lookout for and you should not be using without any form of supervision, if I'm correct, is mercury. So back to it, what are some of those compounds that are in our moisturizer, or what we call body cream?
So, I mentioned before that moisturizers are of different types.
Yes.
And we have different skin types. Let me say we have oily skin, we have dry skin, we have normal skin, and we have combination skin, but I want to state that most times when we define this oily, dry, most times we measure the oiliness or the dryness or the normalcy of the skin, usually on the face most times. And so oily skin, you tend to have generally a lot of sebum, which is the oil on the face. For dry skin, you generally have, so if you wash your face in the morning, you dry it, and after some time, it starts to feel tight and irritate, and just feels tight and dry. You likely have a dry skin. If you wash your face and without applying any moisturizer or anything, in the next 30, 40 minutes, your face is all oily, like me, you likely have oily skin. So for combination skin, you have oily in some areas, then normal in some areas. So, just a rough way to know the skin type that you have. So there are 3 types of moisturizers. Usually we have it called emollients, we have humectants, and we have occlusives. Stay with me, please don't get lost. So emollient, so for them, there are some of them that, I said the layers of the skin, you have the dermis, epidermis. Some of them, they take the moisture from the dermis, and they bring it to the top. Some of them, they trap water from the environment, and some of them, they prevent water, or they prevent the hydration from your skin from getting lost. So I hope that makes some sense. Yes. So you have humectants, occlusives, and emollients. So the one that will prevent your, that would absorb water from your dermis, or that would absorb hydration from your dermis, that's humectants. And examples include, so by the time you are checking your body cream, you are looking for things like fatty acids, cholesterol, ceramide. So when you check the back of your body cream, you see things like cholesterol, fatty acids, ceramides. Those are humectants. For occlusives, they like prevent the moisture from leaving your skin. So things like petroleum jelly, mineral oil, beeswax. Those are, those are occlusives. Then you now have your humectants. You have things like urea, panthenol, glycerol. I don't want to confuse people more, but what you should know is that a lot of moisturizers contain a mixture of humectants and emollients. Some of them might contain some occlusives and emollients, so it might be a mixture. So let me now say the type of moisturizer you choose depends on your skin type. So for example, let me give you an example. Somebody has really dry, flaky skin. I will go for something that contains urea. Urea moisturizes the skin a lot. Remember that I said, yeah. No, so don't think of urea of urine. So urea, when I'm talking about the skin, when you hear urea, when I'm using urea, I tell my senior registrar, I want that patient on 10% urea, 20% urea. That means already this patient's skin needs a lot of hydration, needs a lot of, hydration on the skin to prevent the dryness or to reduce the flakiness of that skin. So the percentage I would prescribe would depend on what I'm treating in that patient. Okay, it can be as low as 2%, it can be as low as 5%. And remember that I said the humectants help the skin to absorb water from the dermis itself, and so creating a humid environment. So finally, I would now say that if you have oily skin, so the composition or how your moisturizer looks like, again, depends on your skin type. So if you have oily skin, please look out for a moisturizer that is in lotion form. So you're using something like a lotion because it contains more a healthy balance of water and contains more water than oil when you're looking at a lotion. And if you take a lotion, it's way lighter. So if you have oily skin, you want something that glides on easily and it's not heavy on your skin. If you have dry skin, so what we just call creams generally, they can be in lotion form, they can be in cream form, they can be in ointment form. So if you have really dry skin, you are looking out for creams. So you know those things in tubs, in like the tubs, not the one that you pump out. Those are the kind of creams that you are looking for. Yeah, the ones in jars. If you have really dry skin. And you will see it written there, cream. A cream is heavier than a lotion if you have dry skin. And another trick, again, if you have dry skin, to moisturize your skin better, is that you should ensure that your skin is a bit damp when you are moisturizing. Don't moisturize on really, so you finish bathing and you clean all your skin. That water on your skin also helps in to lock in the moisture. So, for example, if you also have dry skin, petroleum jelly, I don't like to mention brands, but petroleum jelly is 100% petroleum jelly is also good for the skin to lock in moisture into the skin. But you don't use it on dry skin. Immediately you're using it on dry skin, you are not maximizing the moisturizing effect. You want to use it. Remember that those ones, they just lock in moisture that is present within your skin. So you want to use it on skin that is wet. So I hope I've not ended up confusing you. Like, I think I've broken it down.
Yes, you have. Yeah. And I hope somebody's listening. If you have questions, it's fine. You can begin to send them or maybe call out. See when I can take your call. So the call line is 014489981. Again, 014489981. And WhatsApp is 0809444091. We are streaming live on YouTube. So that means you can watch us on YouTube and also drop whatever it is you'd like to say on YouTube in the chat box. So when you mention petroleum jelly, it brings me to something that I saw online on the list of the product or the chemicals or whatever compounds it is now that you should be on the lookout for, which can be a double-edged sword, is petrolatum. Now, I don't know if it's correct. They said petrolatum, if it is not fully refined or well refined, can have some effect. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, so the thing is, I like the fact that you said, if it is not well refined. So the major thing is it must be, and that's why you must stick to some brands.
Because I was about to say, how do
you
we
must
know
stick to some particular brand? If you allow me to mention,
no,
generally, I know on air we really don't mention. So exactly. So you must stick, and there's a popular brand that everyone knows. So once I say that, you're already, I'm sure you. So once it is, the only problem with the improperly refined ones is that contaminants can get in. That's just the major issue in the process of it not being refined properly. But if it is well refined, I assure you, go and speak to dermatologists out there. The petroleum jelly is a well-kept secret. I have an irritated skin. I keep applying petroleum jelly on it. Before you know it, all that irritation is gone. Petroleum jelly is what I use personally. So it is actually really, and okay, one caution though, if you have oily, acne-prone skin, do not go about applying petroleum jelly on your face, okay? Because that can be comedogenic and, predispose you to having more breakouts, okay?
Okay.
So now, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. So tilting again back to the side or the angle of things we should be mindful of. So I'll mention some names that I came across that you help us shed more light on. Paraben. We see those things. I have seen many products that I saw paraben in them. What exactly is paraben and what can it do to us?
So it's one of the preservatives that is used in the skincare products. And the thing is, it's not like it is bad per se, but some sensitivity can be there for some people, okay? And some studies have shown, but they are not so, have shown that it may, disrupt hormones in the body, it may, or increase cancer risk, it may cause skin irritation. But when we talk about levels of studies in medicine, we talk about level 1 studies, level 2 studies. Those studies are not very strong, but generally it's better now to stay away from products that, when there are options, there are alternatives. You don't have to use parabens. And if there are, concerns about them already, then you can leave them out of your product completely, because it is not compulsory. Okay.
All
So
right.
they are used as preservatives generally, and that's why when people say I make products, I mix products, I do this thing in my see, a lot of skincare products, it takes a lot into formulating them. And it is important. Preservatives are almost as important as the product you are formulating, because if it is not well preserved, then it stands the risk of, turning into another chemical compound that it's not supposed to be. It stands the risk of getting bad easily. Okay. And even skin irritation can occur with that. And so it takes a lot to actually say, I'm making skincare products. A lot of research goes into that. Okay.
Now that you have mentioned it, we'll never be able to exhaust this topic of the formulated skincare product and all the organic, in quote, that are being sold these days. I once heard someone say that if you cannot eat it, don't put it on your skin. But in that video, she was mixing in a particular brand of yogurt. And I don't think that should be in it. But that's by the way. Now, we don't always get to have the products they use to make their skin product. In that case, what can a person do? Someone who's tired of all the many chemical names that you're seeing in the brands that are common and decides, okay, I just want to go natural. Would you advise them to go in the way of personally formulated shea butter and coconut oil, or what?
So I like the fact that you say personally formulated shea butter. Shea butter is fine, honestly. Shea butter is good. Coconut oil is good. Nothing wrong with those products. If you have seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, acne, you don't want to be putting coconut oil all over your face because it can flare it up. So another thing again is that I don't know where they got, if you cannot be eating it, don't put it on your skin. When I saw that, because I saw that video you're talking about, I couldn't stop laughing. And one thing a note of caution to people out there when it comes to the skin, anything that you're using that is changing your complexion in a very short period, like in 2 weeks, you have gone from 1 shade to 3 shades lighter. Mark my words, it can never be good for your skin. Never. Because with the skin, one of the most important things, or 3 of the most important things that you need, just like success in anything: commitment, consistency, dedication. You have to be dedicated to its use, you have to be committed to using it, and you have to be consistent. And again, with the skin, a lot of us, like Shay, you say you don't use sunscreen, you don't use this. I actually tell you, you are actually a shade lighter than this. If you start using sunscreen consistently, you take care of your skin consistently, come back in a year and tell me the difference. I used to be weight like my face. And lastly, I for the skin, 30 minutes is not enough to even scratch the surface. But one thing I'd like to say is that we are blacks. It is not abnormal to find different colors of pigmentation on your skin. It is not abnormal. Your thighs can be fair, your face can be dark, your arms. We have lines of pigmentation on our skin. Our skin is exposed to the sun in different ways. So to say that my face is darker than my skin, it is not abnormal, especially if you've not been using a sunscreen for years. So saying that you want to be eating what you are putting on your skin, they're on their own. No? It's not, we don't encourage. Eat your food, nourish the skin from inside out, and then nourish the skin on the outside too. And finally, I wanted to mention that the 3 basic steps that are most important is to cleanse your skin of the impurities using a pH balance cleanser, remove the dirt from your skin, moisturize your skin, and use a sunscreen. At least start with the basics.
Yeah. So I was hoping that we'd get back after this break into the skincare routine, but you already touched on it. So maybe we'll just go further into why you need to wear a sunscreen and a little teeny tiny touch on skin cancer and the possible risk factors. If you're joining us for the first time, you have missed out on a lot, but do not worry. I'll save up the video for you on YouTube. After this break, we'll be back.
At ShopRite, you'll find everything you need and more. Buy any 12.
We have about 5 more minutes. Time flies by real fast.
360 naira.
Oh dear Lord. Time flies fast. It's already 8:28. I think we just have 2 minutes, or maybe if we
Yeah,
extend
I'm
it a little
stretching
bit.
it. That's why I said 5 minutes.
Okay, okay, great.
Yes, 35
Hmm.
ShopRite vouchers up for grabs when you buy participating products from any ShopRite nationwide. Promo valid to the 6th of November 2022. Visit ShopRite Nigeria on Facebook and Instagram for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
Smooth music. A blend of only the best. Silky smooth music on your radio. Oh yeah. Smooth 98.1.
Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's Soul Food here. We have just about 4 minutes to the end of this, and we have been talking about skin product. What is in your beauty product? In fact, like my guest said, we are barely scratching the surface, but maybe the information we have this morning will do just a little bit, and maybe we'll have another part someday. I know I'm
Oliver
chuckling.
Twist.
All right. So before that break, I said that we should touch on the basic skincare routine. So sunscreen. Why should I use a sunscreen, Dr. Shakirat?
Okay. Exposure to UV from the sun. So we have UVA, we have UVB. So UV has been implicated in skin cancers, sun-induced skin cancers, like the one we call basal cell carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma. UV has also been implicated in hyperpigmentation. Remember that hyperpigmentation, a lot of us will complain, oh, I'm getting darker, oh, I'm getting patches of dark areas on my skin, sunspots. UV has also been implicated in what we call aging. So if you take somebody that has been using a sunscreen consistently for years, and you take another person of the same age that has not been using a sunscreen, you will see the difference. The skin of the person that has not been using a sunscreen will kind of look older and more wrinkled than the person that is not using a sunscreen. So
Hmm.
for black skin, although our skin, the melanin there, highly protects against skin cancers, but we still see skin cancers in black. It's just not as common. And the other reasons I mentioned, who doesn't want to look younger? Who doesn't want to delay aging? Who doesn't want to prevent splotches of hyperpigmentation on their skin? So those are some of the important reasons why you should. I know that my face and my skin is much different since I started using a sunscreen. So I'm a living example, and I can tell you people that have been using it consistently will tell you the same thing.
Thank you. And thank you. Now, the last one, I don't think we'll end this conversation without putting this to rest. So, a number of people have stopped using antiperspirant and deodorants because of a certain compound they say it contains and that it is possibly carcinogenic. Is there any truth to this? And that compound would be, I think, aluminum.
Yeah, yeah. So the same way they say it interferes with some, estrogen compounds and all that is the same mechanism there's, and the same one I mentioned the other time for the parabens.
Mm.
So, but with research, medicine is an evidence-based practice. You don't just say, oh, it is implicated in this without bringing forth evidence. And there have been studies, like large studies. The last one I read about, and they did a study called a case control study. A case control means that you take somebody with skin cancer and you take somebody without skin cancer. So they did about 800 women with skin cancer and without skin cancer, with breast cancer, without breast cancer. And they traced back which of them used aluminum hydroxide antiperspirants consistently. They were not able to find a link between the skin cancer or the breast cancer and the use of antiperspirants. So what I would tell people out there is that there is no link, there is no evidence, and there have been research. It's not like people have not done the research on it. Researches have been done on this. So there's no current link. So please use a deodorant. Save the world. Use a deodorant. It's very important. When you are going for that interview, use a deodorant. Hmm?
Help the planet, please. Be
Yes,
your
please.
brother's keeper. Do not snuff life out of them. I would never forget one experience. So I was in this car with somebody else, and the person wanted to beckon to a hawker in the traffic.
I know that. I know that
Oh,
feeling. My God, my God.
ah. And when there is the glasses are wound up and there
Oh
is
dear Lord.
no cross ventilation,
Mm,
it was not funny. So
mm.
please be your brother's keeper and use a deodorant. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for
Unfortunately, we could
having
not
me.
even take calls and messages. Yeah, maybe
Mm,
another time.
another time. I know you
Thank,
would kind of find a way to drag me into the studio again. So thank you for having me. I had a good time.
thank you. Now you can check out Dr. Shakirat across all social media platforms. You're searching for Skin and All. That's SKINANDALL, then underscore on Instagram. I think on Twitter too. Does he have the
Yeah, and
underscore?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes, that's
So
where you
you'll
find
find me
her,
there.
giving you educative tips on your skin health and health generally because it's very vital. Again, thank you and have a good morning.
And have a good weekend. Let me go back to catching my beauty sleep. Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has listened and, of course, put in their thoughts. We appreciate you. Guess what's coming up next? Curious Minds. Now, the sponsors of the show are feeling very generous and they have decided to extend one more Saturday to give out gifts to the kids. So, this morning, we're still going to be spelling, and 3 lucky winners will be getting goodies from Cadbury Bonvita, your nourishing cocoa beverage. So, if I were you, I would quickly take my mom or dad's phone, as long as you're between 6 to 15 years of age, and start to call so that you can be first in line and then you can spell 5 words correctly and get to yourself a goodie so that next week we all gather in the studio and have a great time. So are you ready? Just hold on. 8:40 is the time. This is Breakfast in Bed here on Smooth 98.1.
Think about it. There must be higher. Down in the heart of you. Just but without it.